Hi guys, it's Stella here. This is episode 9 of my book, My Life, My Testimony. I am proceeding from the previous episode. In the previous episode, I was explaining my life experiences when I arrived in Gokwe with my ex-husband who was so cruel to me and he was so abusive. I would like to proceed and tell you what happened, some of the things which happened when we were in Gokwe those first days. So if you fall behind, run faster, never give up, never surrender, and rise up against the odds. I discovered several new things which I didn't know about him. He revealed to me after we went to Gokwe, I discovered that he was a drunkard. He was violent and abusive. He was sniffing tobacco. He was believing in traditional healers because he told me that his ancestors were talking through him. My parents taught me to go to church and to believe in Jesus only, not to believe in other gods or ancestors. But now that I was married to this man, I was going to say no. I was not going to say no to his beliefs without being abused. It was very unfortunate that by then the cell phones were very scarce. Only very few rich people could afford cell phones. I didn't have a cell phone to communicate with my parents. So that was a challenge. Um, so by then the communication method which I was using to talk to them was through letters by a post. The other issue was that my parents were not happy about me getting married at such a young age. They were so heartbroken. It was not easy for me to just wake up and tell myself that I'm going back home. It was actually tough. I'm sure you understand exactly what I mean. The elder people who were closer to me and they were aware of what was going on in my marriage, the advice that was just to make me strong in the marriage. I was not going to be hurt or something, but I couldn't believe it because I could see that this guy was abusing me. He was abusing me, and I was so scared about it. But the elders, they were telling me that it's going to be well, it shall be well. My parents taught me to pray and to go to church, like I mentioned earlier. Therefore, I never stopped praying. I never stopped going to church. I remember I was going to church wearing even torn clothes and those yellow slippers which we used to for bathing. I'm sure some of you can remember them, which were bought from Bata shop in Zimbabwe. That time, the pampers or diapers for the kids were not very popular, especially in Zimbabwe. Besides, if they were they I couldn't afford them. I didn't know about them. I was using those normal white napkins, but trouble came when I didn't have the soap to wash them. The soap finished to wash them, and my ex-husband was not buying the soap. So sometimes I was just washing the napkins without the soap. Then it happened that he bought the yellow bar soap which was there by then, but it was not very good to use it for the napkins because it was going to make them cream or off-white. So, but I had no option. I was just using that soap, the yellow bar, to wash the napkins and also for bathing because it was cheaper. My friend, sometimes she was giving me a piece of soap so that I can wash the napkins, but still it was not enough for the whole month. I remember every time after I do my laundry and hang them on the washing line, the other staff members were laughing at me. They were gossiping about the clothes and napkins because they were changing color. They were not pure white, they were creamish, brownish because of the soap which I was using. It was tough. I didn't mind about what they were saying. about me. I was just praying to God to provide me with the things I wanted. By that time, he was sniffing tobacco every day because of his beliefs. I didn't have any guts to tell him to stop it because I was afraid he was going to beat me like he did before. He then asking me to wash his handkerchiefs he was using after sniffing the tobacco. So I remember the first time he told me you must take the handkerchiefs and wash them for me. Then I imagined that the mucus with tobacco, it was just horrible. It was horrible, honestly. First day actually I was afraid, so I washed the handkerchiefs on the first day. But as time goes on, I decided not to wash them. So when he realized that I stopped washing the handkerchiefs with his mucus of tobacco, whatever, he was asking me why I did it. And I told him that I was not comfortable to do that. But he called me that I was actually disrespectful. Like, how can I do that? I was his wife. I was supposed to listen to everything he was telling me. But as for me, I realized that no, I can't do this anymore. That day, I managed to escape because he was beating me. Because of that issue, I told him I'm not going to wash the handkerchiefs. I was beaten again for the second time. I managed to escape to report to him to the headmaster. I wanted them to talk to him so that he won't keep on beating me every time. They tried to talk to him and settle the issue, although their main issue actually was just to tell him that he must settle the problems without fighting, but only talking nicely to each other. His response to the headmaster that day, it was not good. He told me that he was not his father, therefore he was not supposed to tell him what to do, especially when it comes to his marriage or to me as his wife. So they just warned him that if he does it again, was going to report him to the police for disciplinary measures. Therefore, that helped me because I then went back to my house. Then I slept until the following morning. I saw him washing the handkerchiefs for himself without asking me to do so. In my heart, I was just praising the Lord. However, he was also finding issues just to find ways to beat me, especially when he was drunk. He was very violent. I remember sometimes he used to put a knife under his pillow every night before he sleep. Sometimes when I think about this, I just ask myself why I was not running away from this monster. I never thought of running away. I was persisting about my marriage. No matter how much I was abused, I was persisting in this marriage. The life in Gokwe was never better for me, honestly, especially 2003 when we were just married. Sometimes I was going to the clinic with the baby by foot, although it was very far. But I had no option. Walking for such a long distance with a baby at the back, sometimes without eating anything, was the most challenge I faced during that year. When he got his first salary in March, he decided to go back home in Mashingo to his parents, and I was left alone in Gokwe. He decided to spend the money with his family, and I was left alone. So yeah, this man, he was cruel, he was rude. He left me with no food. He decided to buy clothes for his family, the clothes for himself. He didn't buy anything for the baby. He didn't buy anything for me. He gave the man to the family, which was good, but he didn't buy much groceries for us so that we can have something to eat throughout the month. When he came back, the satchel was full of beer and some few groceries. But I just say, I'll wait and see how are we going to survive. But I could tell that this man is irresponsible. He was only caring about buying beer which was too bad. Let's proceed in the next episode. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe. Keep on following me on Facebook, Twitter, here on YouTube, so that you'll be updated with a new episode. Thank you.